While SUVs may be taking over the world, the midsize sedan segment is still very popular and the Japanese brands dominate it. You have the Honda Accord and the Toyota Camry which lead the pack, followed by the Nissan Altima. The Altima is in its 6th generation and for 2023 it gets a few upgrades to keep it fresh. My name is Omar and this is the 2023 Nissan Altima. Let's check it out. Alright, let's get into it with the pricing details so you know what you're working with as we go along on this tour. Now, all the mid-sized Japanese sedans start around the mid $20,000 range, and the Altima is no different. The base Altima S starts at $25,290 and tops out at around $35,000 for the SR VC Turbo. Of course, the turbocharged Altima carries a faster powertrain and is only available with front-wheel drive. Now, if you want all-wheel drive, you can only pick between 3 trims of the Altima, including the SV, the SR, and the SL. Prices for the all-wheel drive Altima start at $27,590. That said, let's talk about what's new for 2023. First up, the Altima gets a new version of Nissan's V-Motion grille, which of course is bigger, and you have the new Nissan logo. Now, I gotta say, I always thought the Altima was one of the best looking mid-sized Japanese sedans. This and the Kia K5 lean towards looking sportier than the rest of the competition. The Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry, and the Hyundai Sonata play it pretty safe with a somewhat reserved design. But yeah, the Altima SR trim that I'm driving here gets a darker version of the V-Motion grille that makes it look even more aggressive. For 2023, you get standard LED headlamps and daytime running lights across all trims of the Altima. However, it's still odd to me that Nissan uses incandescent taillights and turn signals, no sharp-looking LED taillights back here at all. And then the wheel sizes range from 17 to 19-inch wheels. The SR trim gets its own exclusive set of 19-inch wheels that I think look pretty cool. By the way, I gotta say, I'm really digging this Ethos gray color on my test model. I think it's one of the best looking colors from a mainstream automaker. But yeah, let me know which mid-size sedan is your favorite in terms of looks alone. Alright, let's hop inside and check out the updates that Nissan has made in here for 2023, and there's not much besides a few tech upgrades. First up, you have this new and huge 12.3-inch touchscreen display for the infotainment system. It's standard on the SL and SR VC Turbo and optional on the other trims. If you go for the base model or don't add it on at all, you'll still get the old 7-inch touchscreen display. But yeah, this new screen is awesome. It's very sharp and very responsive. You have the ability to completely customize the homepage to whatever layout you want. You also get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for smartphone connectivity, and it looks really nice and sharp on the screen. And you also get Nissan's door-to-door navigation system. As for driver assist tech, all Altimas come standard with the range of features including Safety Shield 360, which gives you automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, rear automatic braking, lane departure warning, radar-based blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, and high beam assist. If you go for the Nissan Pro Pilot, you'll have adaptive cruise control and the Altima will keep itself automatically centered in the lane. In terms of the camera game, you're working with the rear view camera, and if you go for the SL or SR VC Turbo, you'll get a surround view camera as well. Now, as far as the gauge cluster goes, Nissan didn't make any upgrades like they have done on other models. It's still analog with a center screen that's pretty informative. I'm honestly okay with this. Cars in this segment don't really need to have a crazy amount of bells and whistles and screens. That said, in terms of overall interior design and quality, I think the Altima has aged really well with its 6th generation run. It's got a solid mixture of high quality materials and some cost saving here and there. But yeah, I think most of the sedans in this segment aren't crazy innovative and cutting edge when it comes to their interiors. Being in here is more focused around comfort and space, and the Altima doesn't disappoint there at all. You still have the NASA-inspired zero-gravity seats, and they are super comfortable, one of the best seats in the mid-size sedan segment. All trims except the base Altima S get an 8-way power adjustable driver's seat. If you go for the SL or SR VC Turbo, you also get a 4-way power adjustable passenger seat. The front seats are heated as standard on the SL and SR VC Turbo, as is a heated steering wheel. Now, if you want the heating game on the other trims, that will be optional. The top 2 trims also get dual zone climate control as standard. The other trims are working with a single zone. But yeah, my SR trim test model here has some nice dual stitch action and dual color combo going on, and it looks pretty solid. It also gets a carbon fiber look trim here on the dash, not real carbon fiber of course. That said, I gotta say this 9-speaker Bose sound system in here is actually pretty solid. I definitely enjoyed listening to music and driving this around for a week. Alright, so hop in the second row of the Altima and you have a total of 35.2 inches of legroom back here. I'm about 6 foot tall. That is my seating position. As you can see, I've got plenty of room. I'm very comfortable back here. The Honda Accord and the Toyota Camry do give you more legroom, but honestly, it feels very spacious in here. So I'm never too sure how automakers measure out rear legroom because this is plenty spacious. That said, you don't have much going on back here in terms of convenience and comfort. You don't have heated seats, you just have a couple of vents. Now let's check out the cargo space really quick. You can pop open the trunk with your keys, a button located near the driver's seat, or you can use this button located right here underneath the Nissan logo. And once you get it open, you have 15.4 cubic feet, which isn't bad, and it's pretty much on par with the rest of the segment. And you can fold down the 60-40 split rear seats by just pulling this right here. Pulling it and then going in the front and folding it down. So there's more work to be done. All right, before I give you my thoughts on how the Altima drives, let me point out a few important daily ownership highlights that I'd love to show all of you. You have a total of 4 cup holders, 2 in the front right there, 1 for your Dunkin' iced coffee, and then you have 2 in the back right here in the center armrest. Here are the keys to the Altima, same Nissan key. I do like the fact that you have remote start right here on the key itself. You don't need an app or anything to do that. Door close sound from the outside, and the inside, solid. Charging game-wise, in the front you have a USB-C and A port, and the SL and the SR VC Turbo get a wireless charger as standard. It's optional on the other trims. Now, if you are sitting in the back of the Altima, you have a USB-C and A port right there. And of course, let's do an indicator and horn sound test. Indicator first. One of the most annoying indicators I've heard. I don't like that at all. Now for the horn sound. It's okay, I guess. Kind of fits more on the Sentra than the Altima. All right, so let's take the Altima for a spin. Now, besides the few upgrades that you have for 2023, nothing has changed under the hood. All trims of the Altima still get a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, making 181 horsepower. However, if you go for the SR VC Turbo like the one I'm driving here, you get a turbocharged 4-cylinder, making 248 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Now, while you can get all-wheel drive for an extra $1,400 on the Altimas with the non-turbo, the VC Turbo is only available with front-wheel drive. That said, they all get a CVT transmission that Nissan calls Xtronic. And if that's something you don't enjoy, you might want to steer clear of the Altima. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of CVTs, but I don't think it holds the Altima back that much, at least in the VC Turbo form. I do think the CVT shifts way more than other CVTs that I've driven. But I can see how on the non-turbo, it could make for a bit of an unexciting drive. Now, if you don't want a CVT transmission, you do have other options in this segment. The Toyota Camry, the Hyundai Sonata, the Kia K5 all get an 8-speed automatic transmission, and the new Honda Accord will get a 10-speed automatic. So that really makes the Altima one of the last mid-size sedans that has a CVT. But yeah, I would say the CVT doesn't take away from the overall driving experience for what this is. I just think an 8-speed automatic would have made this a better driving experience, at least in the VC Turbo. Speaking of the driving experience, how is the Altima as a daily driver? I would say it's actually pretty solid. It's got a very smooth ride, and honestly, I feel like it's more stable and planted than the competition. Not to mention the zero-gravity seats are some of the best in this segment. I can really sit in them all day. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like getting in and out of an Altima is just easier. Maybe it's just me, but the entry and exit in the Altima is something that I just appreciated over the week that I was driving this. Now, as for fuel economy, the Altima isn't too far off from the competition. The 181 horsepower gets a max 32 miles per gallon combined, while the VC Turbo that I'm driving here gets 29 miles per gallon combined. I'm averaging, after a few days of driving, a total of 30.4 miles a gallon, so that's not so bad. Not to mention the range you get on a full tank is north of 480 miles, so that's pretty good. By the way, let's talk handling really quick. Now, I haven't driven the non-turbo Altima, so I can't speak to that, but this VC Turbo is actually pretty impressive for what it is. The turn-in is pretty quick and responsive. You just point it slightly in that direction and it goes right away. You do have some torque steer in the VC Turbo because this is front-wheel drive. You're not going to be winning any races with it, even though Altima owners feel like they can take on any car on the road. To that end, the VC Turbo here will do 0 to 60 around 5.8 seconds, while the non-turbos will do it around in the higher 7-second range. So, what's the deal? Would I pick the Altima over the competition? Now, I haven't been in an Altima for quite some time, so driving this around for a week, I was pretty impressed with it. It's one of the better looking mid-size sedans out there, and besides the Camry, it's the only other one that will offer you all-wheel drive. I'll say this is currently more exciting than the Toyota Camry for sure. You also have the Hyundai Sonata and the Kia K5, both of which are very popular, but nowhere close to the Japanese brands in terms of sales domination. And of course, then you have the Accord, which is getting an all-new model that looks very impressive. I would say if you're in the market for a midsize sedan, definitely give the Altima a test drive. You might be surprised by how compelling it can be. Either way, Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace. Talk about turning and grip. This thing is very, very nice when it comes to that. Oh, and if you see Altima drivers not using their indicators, because it sounds like this. It's so annoying.